up, get out right out of your bed, that's your quicksand. Getting rid anxiety and head, you can fix it. Rid of stigmas, all of them you said, we ain't listening. Just remember, try to do your best, you can win this. Maurice Benard, State of Mind.
Yo me llamo Mauricio José Morales. Yo soy de San Francisco. Y you guys like that, State of Mind audience? That I can speak Spanish like that? You're damn right. It's just that I can speak it better, always speak better English, because I can't, certain words I can't pronounce, I don't know how to say, but I can act like I can. Yo hablo español muy bien. Mi papá de Nicaragua, mi mamá de San Salvador. You see how that works? If you like what you see, hit the button, subscribe button. So I have somebody today who I met her a year ago. Seems like a long time ago. Dr. Brennan Show. If that's not correct, please correct me. She was great, and I've been wanting to get on State of Mind, but she's just busy a lot. She's doing all kinds of stuff. She's got some stuff to talk about. Trust me, you will not want to leave this one. So she's a producer, actress, writer, podcaster. She's been in the business for over 30 years, and she's a doll. Her name is Elizabeth Morales.
Gracias, Mauricio. We share a same last name, Morales.
Yeah.
Or Morals, as they like to say, los Americanos.
Yeah. Do you know I changed it? You want to know why?
Why?
Because early in my acting career, which I hadn't done anything but studying, I got a video for MTV for Santana, but except Carlos Santana. They called themselves Roar.
Ooh.
And I auditioned and did well, and they didn't want to hire me because my last name was Morales. They wanted an Italian.
Oh.
Okay. So the guys from Santana, Roar, whatever, said, but we want him. And they're like, well, he's Spanish. We don't want Spanish. So it had to take Bill Graham making a call, the big promoter.
Right.
And saying, that's who they want. That's who they're going to get. So I got the job.
Oh, my God. Now, where did you get Benard from?
My mother's maiden name.
Ah.
So it could be Italian, it could be French, it could be Spanish. So I changed it to Maurice Benard legally. And now it's probably would have been better to be Mauricio Jose Morales, you know what I mean? Because it's a whole change of thing, right?
Yes.
But where are you from?
Well, I was born in New Jersey, but my parents are Cuban and Spaniards. So I'm Cuban. Y mi descendencia es española, so they're from Spain. But they fled here from Cuba when they were 15.
Damn.
By themselves. My mom came by herself.
Right.
From Cuba and had to learn to speak the language. And, in my house, we weren't allowed to speak English, only Spanish.
Good.
And that's how I learned Spanish. My grandmother would be like, I'd be like, Grandma, give me a spoon. And she goes, no es spoon, cuchara. And I would be like, okay, cuchara, por favor, Yeah, so that's how, and then I think also when they came from Cuba, they wanted to integrate into the United States. And so they kind of just really absorbed everything that was American.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I consider myself, I think, more Cuban than I would, what I do more is on the Cuban side. When I'm heated, I gotta have to
You-
dejarlo saber en español. You know,
Yeah.
it never feels as good in English. Do you ever
That-
go off in Spanish, Mauricio?
No. But my thing is, I'm always feeling Italian.
You look Italian.
Well, yeah, of course. And I don't, but I love my heritage.
Yes.
My dad passed away, but I used to watch him dancing salsa music, smoking a cigarette, drinking, and then I ended up playing Desi Arnaz in a TV movie. Yeah.
I can totally see that.
Yeah, it was not easy. Because, he talk like that.
Yes.
Acá malo se. It was not easy because in that movie, the big people, he was above the producer. He was the one who created this whole thing. He wanted me to be Ricky Ricardo. I wanted to play Desi Arnaz because Ricky Ricardo's, but that's what he wanted.
He was big. He was very.
But Desi was normal, man.
But Desi was the one that introduced multiple cameras.
Of course.
He was so
Smart.
so smart. And
Right.
Lucille Ball was a baller. She
Yeah.
did not put up with. And did you see the special on them? Desi, it's Desi and Desi and Lucy, and you can see he is the one that invented the multiple camera
Yeah.
and brought it. That is like before his time.
Phenomenal.
And together they were amazing.
But he wasn't. His person. Look, there was. I remember. I hated my performance. It wasn't great. If I did it now, it would be so good. But I did a monologue at the end of the movie that was taken right from his monologue at a banquet, so I could watch and watch. And the way he just said, like, when I came to this country, I didn't have a cent in my pocket, and just said it without this kind of stuff. It was just real, and that was probably the only scene that maybe I had like 3 scenes in the whole movie.
Where you got to play Desi.
Yeah, but the whole movie was about there was only some scenes that were Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah.
Lucy, you know. And cool, I did that. I could watch and do that.
Right.
But the rest of the movies, their life. And they got divorced the day after that thing stopped airing. They only put up with it.
To continue the.
Yeah.
And look how timeless. People are still watching that show.
It's amazing. She's phenomenal.
She was not given enough credit, I think, for that show. She ran that show.
Yes.
In a time where women's voices weren't really, she stepped up and was.
And she had done movies before that.
Mm-hmm.
He just cheated on her a lot.
That's why I didn't marry a Cuban. Latino men are, not all of them. Let me just say that. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. So what is this hashtag show that supposedly you're the one and only in the history of something that?
Well, I co-wrote, co-produced, co-created a sketch comedy show. Comedy is my ultimate favorite in life. I think from comedy tends from tragedy. So in my life, I've had a lot of tragedy. So I always laughter is my medicine.
Yeah.
And so my grandmother was a big influence in my life, and she had the kind of laugh, those voicious laughs that just the voice, the laughter makes you laugh.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do a sketch comedy show. At the time, hashtags was all the rage. Remember, and you're like, oh, did you put a hashtag? You have up to 30 hashtags.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's do a show, a comedy show about hashtags. We did 32 sketches. We were the first ones. on Instagram to come up with this. At the time, it was only 15 seconds. Then 30 seconds. I'm like, how are we going to get to the punchline in 30 seconds? From there, we ended up. Instagram
You would
went
write
to
a
minute.
script?
We wrote, damn. And we had to get the punchline in 15 seconds. Then they gave us 30 seconds. And then it went to a minute, all during production. So we're like, yes, we got a minute.
Yeah.
And in a minute, we'd never done it before. The three of us had never done a sketch comedy show. But we decided that's what we're going to do. And we did it. It went viral. We were on the cover of Funny or Die twice. We had Dave Bautista came and did a sketch, and it made Dave Bautista's 10 funniest moments on Mojo TV.
No.
Yeah, and he was spectacular.
What did he play?
He played Dr. Crush, which was for Man Crush Monday. He was this doctor that would crush everything. And then we did another one for Free the Nipple. And that one went crazy viral. It was so funny. And he's just such a spectacular human being.
Yeah.
He's this big guy.
Big dude.
With the softest voice and just the kindest. It was actually a privilege to work with.
Wow.
With him. Yeah.
And then, so you did this, it went viral, the whole thing. And how long did you do it for?
We did it for about a year and a half. And right when we were really taking off, it was three of us and 3 partnerships. They're difficult, 3 partnerships.
Oh, yeah.
There's always 2 that, clash. So everybody decided to kind of go their own way. Yeah.
Damn, but you guys started that.
Yeah, it was.
How do you find a punchline in 15 seconds?
Well, we didn't know.
I mean,
So-
is it like...
We got lucky because that's when Instagram then went to 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay,
we don't know. So we just started writing and being in writing rooms and like, let's do what hashtags are we going to do? And you'd have to get quick. And then when they gave us a minute, it was...
Let's see, yeah.
That felt like an eternity. But then when you start editing, you're like, shit, you have to be quick. And we had never shot something like that. So it was all learning.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it was a blast.
So what happened after that? Because I want to take the latter part of your life first, and then we'll go into the beginning. So what happened after that? You did that in your career and whatnot.
So after that, I've been in acting for so long. And after a while, I just feel like I don't want to give my control up anymore. Kind of like I'm sick of waiting for things to happen. And as artists, we're always waiting. And I'm a firm believer, as an artist, I need to create art. If somebody sees it, doesn't see it, that's not my issue.
Right.
I don't care. I am an artist. I need to create. So from there, I've produced podcasts. So I'm producing podcasts now. I'm just starting a new podcast that I'm producing. It's going to be all comedians that are out.
Yeah.
So, comedians are really interesting people because although they're really funny, there's a darkness to them.
Yes.
So their life is very interesting.
Yes.
So I'm working on a new podcast. So I'm always creating. I don't wait for my phone to ring because, Hollywood is fickle.
Yes.
You're too young, you're too old, you're too not Latina looking enough. I get that all the time.
Yeah.
You're ethnically ambiguous, which is great, but, so I just keep working. I have 3 scripts that I'm trying to pitch right now. So you just got to keep on keeping on.
Wow. What's the other thing we were going to talk about?
Well, we were going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about...
We said let's not talk because I want to talk about it on the.
I was suggesting to you
Yes.
that State of Mind, I feel, is such an incredible show.
Thank you.
And because you have this huge platform already built
Yes.
in from your fans, Now you're getting to reach beyond your fans.
Yes.
And I feel like from one Latino to another, there's a huge stereotype in the Latin community as far as mental health.
Yes.
Right? Going to therapy. No, yo no estoy loca. I'm not crazy. They
Right.
realize you don't talk about your family. You
Right.
have to be loyal to your family. So if you go to therapy and you say anything about your family, you
That's
know,
very true,
so
man.
there's then there's the guilt for talking bad about your family in a therapy. So I think now there's a different, with people like you and more people talking about mental health and more people talking about, trauma that causes mental anxiety and stuff like that. I also feel like that now that line has been almost erased, and the Latinos are opening up to more of the possibilities of, like my aunt is 89 years old. She is going to a therapist.
No.
My little Cuban Consuelo is going to, and she goes, me encanta la terapia. So now she loves therapy. Where before she goes, no, yo no estoy loca, I'm not crazy, And I'd be like, Tia, I go to therapy, So this show is so amazing that I really feel that this is also an opening to the Latino community. You as a Latino can speak to them and see that this is a very important topic and it needs to be destigmatized.
I definitely agree with you. And I'm going to tell you this. I thought this years ago about why is it, and I won't mention names, the Latin community is pushing this guy, and he doesn't even come close to what I've done on soap opera then. I didn't have State of Mind. And my wife had to make a call. And here's what happened. My wife made a call to this organization and said, why don't you recognize my husband? He's this, he's that, he's this. We didn't know he was Spanish because of his last name. But can't you do some research? Can't you
Google?
I don't know if we even had that back then. But then I went a whole year of going to functions and everything. And it was so off a bit. Like one time I went to get an award and they thought that I left the building and I didn't.
Well, there is something to be said about Latino, or productions.
Right? There was some
productions, and they are getting better, but the budgets.
And I'm all for it, and I'm all for it now to try again. But that's what happened, and it just seemed a little like, because we didn't know he was.
But how? I find it ridiculous that based on a name, you don't know if you're Latino or not, because there's a lot of Filipino names that are Morales and Sanchez, because Filipinos have Latin names.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't mean they're not Filipino. So I feel also the Latin market is changing because a lot of the productions before based on, they don't get any money.
Right.
So their productions almost looked like, I would always say, why do Latino things look like porn sets? There's like, but now they're getting the money. Now the voices, now we're funding ourselves as Latinos, and I think it's important. And I'm embracing it now too, because as I've gotten older, I've seen a lot of things that I'm like, like, even you go to an audition and they'll say, well, you don't look Latina. And I'll be like, well, I am. Then they make me speak Spanish. And then they'll say, well, no, but you have a Cuban accent. And I'm like, we don't want Cuban accent. We want a generic accent. And as Latinos, we all have different forms, just like Americans. Sure. There's New York accent, this accent. So I think we have to we're learning to embrace each other's differences.
Yes. And you're absolutely right as far as mental health and being Latino it needs to. We all need the help. Now, I was brought up. My dad. You don't cry.
Yes.
You know, everything's gonna be all right. You just go take whatever it was that I knew.
Brush it off.
Brush it off. You gotta be strong. You gotta be strong. You gotta be.
You gotta be wise.
Yeah. And I remember, now that we're getting into this mental health here, I remember. Well, now I'm getting emotional. I remember, like, a girlfriend broke up with me, and I was bawling like a baby to myself, you know, in my room. But I was bawling more than I should have, because I think that was the beginning of my manic episode.
Right.
Is just things like that, right? And then I believe, because of the way I was brought up of always holding things in and crying, that when I had my first nervous breakdown, all I did is cry. In front of my dad, in front of my mom, because I believe it was like a fountain of just coming out of me, like just
Absolutely.
from holding all that in, holding on. Then I'm just crying. I just couldn't stop crying.
And then I think boys have it worse.
Yes.
Right? Because the boys are like, toughen up. You know, boys don't cry in the Latino community. Like, brush it off. Don't make a big deal. Like my mom loves to say, that was in the past. Forget about that.
Right, exactly.
And you're like, but it's in my present, because it still affects me.
Yes.
So it's not in my past.
No.
And so I feel like that's a thing. It's also, they're very worried about what fulano y mengano are going to say, the next door neighbors. Like.
Completely.
Oh, yes. I remember my dad picking me up. Latinos are, my dad was always like a very, he talked like this,
Yeah.
And so he would, my son says he talks like Tony Montana, but that's how he talked.
Right.
And so I remember him picking me up, and I had just flown in from here to Miami, and we're going to La Panaderia, we're going to the bakery, and we're just going to get stuff. And my dad's like, he's there, and I go, hi, Bobby, you know what, let's go. And I just woken up, brushed my teeth. And he's like, oh, no, Lisa, I'm not in a rush. And I go, who's in a rush? He goes, no, you have time to go put a little lipstick on, brush your hair. I want you to put a little makeup, because I don't want people to see you like that. You look, and I was like, Dad, we're going to the bakery. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't care who sees me with no makeup,
It's amazing.
But it's
image.
It's image. It is something I still struggle with, which is presentational and not authenticity.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a way to present yourself, but it's not authentic.
Right.
So my dad used to do that. He used to stand up. He would have his pants he had OCD, the line of his pants, super straight. He would iron his own stuff, but he wouldn't sit down until it was time to leave, so they wouldn't get wrinkled.
Wow.
So it was very presentational.
But that's not healthy.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not healthy at all. Not to mention that it's not authentic. It's to live in that world. I feel like my dad never got to know or be himself, especially because he was a religious, the whole religious
we'll get
cult.
into the God thing.
Yes. So that never allowed him. He was a conga player and a dancer, my dad. So I come from a big history of music. My mom was in the Cuban ballet company when she was really young. And my dad was an amazing conga player and bongos.
Wow.
But then he got into the religion and he lost himself and everything. He lost all the joy in his life. And everything was about, what are people going to think? What are people going to say? And
That stuff will kill you, man.
Well, in my 20s, I did the total opposite. I went crazy. I did the total opposite. I was like, I don't care, hog wild, and but it's conditioning.
Yes.
From cultural and I think religiously too.
Yes. Now, as far as what we were talking about earlier, and God, and why I believe in God, and and I think people should believe what they want to believe.
Absolutely.
Buddha, God,
whatever brings you peace.
Sonny Corinthos, whatever they want. Look, I was brought up very, very religious, right?
Catholic?
Catholic. And then I had a run-in with my I had my first breakdown. No. This was my second breakdown. Oh, I don't remember how many breakdowns I've had, but I went to church once and I was dressed all ugly, and the priest didn't want me to go in to pray because of the way I was dressed. And I said, done with Catholic. And I'm not saying Catholic is fine, but I said, this is not for me, man. This is not for me. I was in bad shape. Yes, I wasn't dressed great, but okay. But I believed in God because I get strength. Life's hard enough. Sometimes we need a little bit extra. And I know sometimes I've cursed God because of the suffering that I've had to go through. But there's a meditation that I did. And you walk downstairs very slowly.
Okay.
And there's a door. And that was kind of the end of the meditation. Well, I decided that I'm going to make the meditation going to heaven. So I go down slowly, and I'm down, and I see the door, and I open the door, and I see green grass, like football field, like. I see roses over here on the right. I see falls, waterfalls, in a building, which I don't know what the building is. So I go in, and it's clear in my head, man, because I'm not great at meditation. But this one I was great at. And I lay down on the grass, and then I open my eyes, and I see my dad. Clear as day, man. Clear as day. And then I get up, and we were talking, we hug, and then I leave. And I kept doing it with everybody who has died in my life. And then I decided to do it with everybody at the same time who has died.
Oh.
And it was amazing, man. The feeling that I got with them. Everybody's talking, and then I leave. And I'll tell you, my mom said to me, what did it look like? I said, she goes, let me send you a book that I'm reading on a little boy who went to heaven. And then he died, came back. I get the picture, and it's the same look of what from the book.
Oh my God, I have goosebumps.
And I'm not. I got goosebumps too. I'm like, whoa, the building, the waterfall.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, wow. So that's why for me, like I used to be afraid of dying, and I think it made my bipolar and anxiety and everything worse, being afraid to die. Now I'm not. I just feel like I'm gonna go somewhere, and whether I do or not, just let me think I am.
Yeah, yes, I agree.
Right?
I agree. I feel being brought up so religious at such a young age, and undergoing everything that I went through, I now have a different perspective on God. I feel I wouldn't call myself religious.
No.
by any stretch of
No.
the imagination. I don't believe in organized religion.
No.
I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
I believe that plant over there has God in it.
We're a lot alike. Yes.
Yes, everything has God in it. God could be anything. God can
Yeah.
be spirit, can be. I don't believe in the God in the Bible. I don't believe he's very righteous. That's not the God I know. He's
Right.
loving, all loving, you know. And I, as you know, I told you I grew up with some people would call religion, but it's not. It's a cult.
Yes.
And I always say, what is the difference between a cult and a religion?
Yeah.
And I always say, the difference is what happens when you leave. When you leave a religion, nothing happens.
Yeah.
When you leave a cult, you're ostracized, you lose your family, you lose all your friends, you lose every part of life that you know. The church turns their back on you. And so,
How long were you in the?
okay, so
Let's get to that.
I was a Jehovah Witness. So everybody knows that these beautiful people come to your door every week.
Yes.
And they are really trying to save you. Like they really believe that. And I was the person that went every weekend preaching.
How old were you?
I was probably like since I was 5 years old.
Damn.
I would go preaching, Bible studies once a week, church twice a week. Then it was get ready for church. Then it goes preaching every weekend. And so you're not allowed to celebrate birthdays. You're constantly being watched at school. Let's say they would send me to school and you can't, Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate anything. So if somebody had a birthday at school, let's say, I would have to either be sent away because I couldn't have a piece of the cake or sing happy birthday. So I would be isolated and everybody would ostracize. Like as a child, I moved around every year to a different school, which is what gave me the capability that I have now that I'm grateful for. I can connect with anybody, anytime, and I love people, but that was my survival skill because I had to move around all the time. So
Why did you have to move around all the time?
my mom just like moved. Every year she decided to move and I'd start a new school and then my parents got divorced and they had a very volatile relationship. So I remember going preaching every weekend with my dad and then coming home and getting beat downs. And I was like, okay, you're out there preaching about love and family.
Yeah.
And then it's a crazy hostile environment in the house.
Yeah.
And Jehovah's Witnesses, like, let's say if your child, God forbid, or your grandkid or somebody in your family needs a blood transfusion, you have to let them die. You cannot give blood transfusion.
Why?
Because it's against the Bible, according to the Jehovah's Witnesses. So a lot of children have died because they are not allowed to get blood transfusions.
Wow.
So growing up like that, constantly being watched, like let's say I'd go to school and, everybody gets up to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I couldn't. So I'd have to stay seated. And then, kids are ostracizing you.
Yeah.
So I would use humor for everything. Humor. And then if I were to stand up because I was scared, or ashamed.
Right.
And I'd get home, my mom would already know, and my dad, that I stood up during
How?
Because other kids from the church would go and they'd say, I
Oh
saw.
my.
So it teaches you constantly report everything to the church. They don't want you going to the outside world, what they call the worldly people. So everything has to be within the church. Sexual abuse has to be reported within the church. They don't want the authorities getting involved. They don't vote because you can't be with the government. So there's all these rules, and everybody thinks I love the people because they just think that they're gonna be saved. But once you get out, when I got out,
How old were you when you got out?
I got out at 20 years old.
Right.
I was a late bloomer. I remember my first time having sex. I felt so guilty. I was like, I'm going to hell. Oh my
Right.
God. I was crying. I
shoot.
was crying. And my cousin comes in. She goes, what are you crying about? I was 20 years old. And I was like, I just had sex. It was awful. I feel so guilty. Is this what, people are having in affairs? And she looks at me. She goes, why are you crying? I go, God's going to hate me. She goes, listen, it's about time I was worried about you. She goes, get over it. She wasn't Jehovah's
So when you're a
Witness.
Jehovah's Witness, you can't have sex?
No, unless you're married. You can't have sex. You can't masturbate because God is watching you. And so this thing is constant. God is watching you. So it creates this anxiety.
Ooh, yeah.
Then it's Armageddon's coming. So they talk about Armageddon constantly. Armageddon's coming like the thief in the night. So that created night terrors for me. I always thought that God was watching me and that he was going to come and I was going to die. And so in 1975, Armageddon was coming, according to them.
Right, of course.
I remember my cousins, most of the people in my family, everybody was quitting school, quitting their jobs. And I was like, I don't want to quit school. And my mom's like, well, Armageddon's coming. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go to school until Armageddon comes. And I was very okay until I wasn't. It created a lot of anxiety,
Yeah.
night terrors,
Oh, shit.
isolation,
Yeah.
presentational,
Right.
because you have to be perfect. You have to be perfect all the time or God's going to kill you. And so
Damn.
I remember writing an email once, and my husband's like, how many times are you going to write the same email? And I go, no, it's got to be perfect. And he goes, baby, that's your trigger. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just say what you're going to say. There is no perfect way to write an email.
Right.
So I get looped sometimes in that it's been so long since I've been out of that cult, but it still on a daily basis affects your life. It affects
Even now?
even now. And remember when the big earthquake happened in California?
Yeah.
So my roommates found me. What was it? What year was it? 90,
I don't-
80 something, whatever. They found me in the shower, and I was like, Armageddon. I remember because I was in Northridge, a mile from the epicenter.
You were?
Yes. And it sounded
Remember that noise?
Oh my, right?
Yeah, like horses on top of the roof.
Yes, or like a train
Like
track
a train.
going
Bah,
through-
bah, 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 yeah.
Ooh, and I don't remember anything but my roommate finding me in the shower in a fetal position, just saying Armageddon's coming, Armageddon's coming, Armageddon. And she's like, girl, it's not Armageddon. We just had an earthquake.
But it was
Get
bad.
out of the house.
Yeah.
So
They program you.
they program you. They program you to lie because you have to constantly. My cousin says, I learned how to be the best liar when I was young because she would go to school and she would just lie because she was embarrassed. Oh, yeah, my parents are Jehovah's Witness anymore. We celebrate birthdays now. So she's like, for me, I was just constantly women have no authority in that church, and kids are to be seen and not heard. Like, you don't speak, you don't, and to be silenced and silenced and silenced. And I remember the church called me and they said, we want you to come in because we hear you're going to nightclubs and smoking cigarettes and drinking. And I said, I am. And you're doing drugs. I said, I am. And
What'd
they
they
said they wanted me to come in, or we're going to expel you from the church if you don't come in and confess. And I said, you need to expel me. Fuck you. Can I say that?
Yeah.
I
It's
said,
YouTube.
fuck you, and I'm not coming. And then my dad called me and screamed at me and it's like, how could you do this to me? This is embarrassing. And when I expelled my family, parts of my family, you lose all your friends, you lose your family, you're on your own.
That's when you left?
That's when I left.
And they just...
They expelled me. They
So you're-
disassociated me. And they do it in front of the whole church.
Wait. you go in front of and you're in
You don't go in. They announce it. You can go in if you want to.
right, but you okay?
I'm like, no,
No, you're out.
I've done enough.
And they say it to everybody.
They say so and so's been expelled for unchristian like conduct, or
Wow.
or adultery, or and so then everybody in the church now knows, and they can't talk to you. So you lose all your friends, family members can't talk to you. Your mom, your dad, they can't talk to you if you've been expelled. They got to kick you out of the house. And so that's, and it's constant fear. Do you know, I just read this, there's this huge groups on Facebook about ex-Jehovah Witnesses. But a lot of that, how all the heavy metal albums, they always have these like crazy, there was this artist that created a lot of the heavy metal albums from literature from the Jehovah Witnesses. So I grew up, I'll show you one day.
That's cool.
I grew up with these images of people dying in Armageddon and pestilence. And so all these images of death constantly in your brain, to the point where I'm glad you're not fear of death. I'm consumed with that thought sometimes of like, it's just what they do to you is, one of my best friends is an ex-Jehovah Witness too. And to this day, she's been out since she was 20. There has been moments that I'm like, girl, that's the programming. It's the programming. And she's like, oh shit, you're right. And so it's still with you. I wake up, not every night, but there's like probably, I would say 10 times a year, I wake up in a pure night terror, sweating, anxiety. And I have night anxiety a lot.
Damn.
And which I've managed now, obviously. And
I saw Kardash, what's his name? From Waco.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? It's something
Oh wait a minute.
Kardashian or something. I don't know, whatever.
Yes, the
Not Kim Kardashian.
no.
No, but I just saw the documentary, man. And it's a lot like what you're saying, right? I mean, this guy in Waco, he had like, I don't know how many people, 40, 50, whatever. And they all thought he was the second coming. And he'd read the Bible to everyone while he's, having sex with young girls.
It's insane. But cults are also very male dominated.
Yeah.
It's a very male, like Jehovah's Witnesses is very male driven. Everything is about the man, and the woman and everybody in the Bible that was a female was either a whore or like the only one that was a virgin and was, married.
You're right.
So the way they depict women, even in their version of the Bible, is, and so women and kids, and I remember my mom tried to get a divorce from my dad because he was very abusive verbally.
Yes.
And they told her, no, you can't divorce him. And if you divorce him, we'll kick you out of the church. And also, they have this rule. I could just talk about this.
This is fascinating.
4 days. I admire Leah Remini.
And and just so the State of Mind audience knows, this is not something she talks about.
This is the first time I'm actually expressing. I've lightly touched on, like, jokingly.
Yes.
I grew up in a cult. But there's a lot of molestation on kids. And their rule is, if a child goes and reports it, you have to face the accuser.
Oh, man.
In front of a committee of all men.
Son of
The perpetrator, you have to say it in front of the perpetrator, and you have to have 2 witnesses in order for them to believe you. Now, who's molesting or sexually abusing a child or another person in front of 2 witnesses?
That's just...
So they won't believe you. So it's a very oppressive, fear-based And
But nobody can step in, like the outside authorities.
well, look what's happening with Scientology.
Oh.
Scientology, I had a girlfriend that was a Scientologist, and we were partners, and we were writing this show, and all of a sudden her phone dings and she stands up. And I'm like, Veronica, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I don't know why I just did that. And she sits back down. We keep writing. She gets another message, a phone, she stands up. And I'm like, girl, what is happening right now? I don't understand what's happening. She's like, I don't know why I keep doing that. And she had just come back from this retreat for months where they had her running around a pole for 16 hours a day, running around a pole. And so Leah Remini comes out with this documentary.
Yeah.
It made me cry. I bawled. It stayed with me forever because, one, it's so much like the Jehovah Witnesses, so much like them, where it's also they ostracize you if you try to leave.
Right.
And she even had a bunch of Jehovah Witnesses too. She did a whole episode on Jehovah Witnesses and on how, you know, and that whole thing with that God, the God's always watching you, and you always have this, you know, this anxiety, whether you're at school or the supermarket, or you know, you do something wrong, all of a sudden everybody knows about it, and you're like, am I being followed? Like, what the hell? So yeah, it's taken a lot of talking about it, not publicly. Now I've decided that I'm going to talk about it publicly if I can help anybody that's in that situation.
Yeah, completely.
You know, and also in these Facebook groups of ex-Jehovah Witness, their mental state of mind is broken because they break your spirit and then they take your family away and they throw you away like garbage. And I read, because I go on these support groups and I read, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know how to communicate with people that aren't in a church. I've lost my family, my community. You lose everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's insane. So now they always took my voice away from me. So I made a living out of putting my voice out there. I've made a living of, you've tried to scare me, I'm going to bring laughter into the world. And so it's fueled my motivation, which is why I feel there was a shame, I think, that came along. I think sometimes when you have anxiety, or like there's times I could be sitting in a room and I'm fine. And out of nowhere, I start to feel tingling in my feet.
Yeah, wow.
As soon as I get that tingling and it starts climbing, I already know. So I have to start meditation and breath work.
Now, you it's been a while, but you haven't had anybody call you since then, or, you know, you haven't seen anybody from back then at all?
Well, no.
That would be scary, right?
At another time, it would have been scary. Right now, at this point in my life,
Yeah.
I would love nothing better to sit in that room.
Oh, you would?
I would love it. And, you know, as a strong, powerful woman that I am now, and not fearful, I would sit across from them. When I was...
Wow.
When I was I had something traumatic happening in the church, and I went to them for help, and they did nothing. They turned me away, and I told my mom, and I got kicked out of my house.
Jesus.
And I went at 11:30 at night, and I picked up all my stuff on the street because of the church. And that's when I vowed that was it. Come to my son's 20, so 20 years ago, the church called me out of the blue and wanted to know what happened to me.
No.
And I said, you already know, because they keep records of everything. I said, you already know why you're calling me at 8 months pregnant. I can't talk about this. And they were like, well, I start to talk to the elder. That's what they're called, elders.
Right.
And I said, as you know, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness anymore. I don't really need to tell you this. But, I said, you guys protect sexual abusers, men have the reign of everything. And I said, and you do nothing for women and children. And so for that reason, he's like, well, we want to talk to you because, we want to clear the record of this person who had abused me.
Mm-hmm.
They want to clear his record.
Clear his record.
Clear his record.
Right.
To give him privileges in the congregation. You can't write this stuff. And 8 months pregnant, I told him, you're calling me to ask me this. Do you want to know? I'm 8 months pregnant. And he's like, yeah, I want to know. So I told him. He's like, I don't want to know. I go, you're going to know. Now you're going to know. And that man was I was 8 months pregnant, and I had to hold my emotion in, because when I started to talk about it to this fucking man, the baby started kicking.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. So he was so uncomfortable with what I was telling him that he wanted to get off the phone. And I didn't let him. I said, no. I'm 8 months pregnant. I told you don't want to talk about this. You chose to decide that you want me to talk about it, and now you're uncomfortable, and you don't want to hear anymore. And now you're going to hear it all. And I made him listen for 2 hours. That man was silent and sobbing on the phone.
Sobbing?
Sobbing. And I never heard back from them.
Wow.
Yeah. And this I've never told anybody.
Wow.
So with that comes, a lot of work as you get older. And so,
But you're in therapy and stuff or not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've done therapy since young. I have meditation. I think it's something that, that's why I'm really proud of you, Maurice, and the work that you do, because I've never said this story before. And how many people have you had in your show that sit here and have this in and feel shame? And then you allow them, this platform to be, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm more than okay. I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? And I think you're a champion. I don't see it as anything else but that.
I appreciate that.
And that's why it works. That's why, and you should, and more people should feel that way about what you did, and that's hard, man.
Yeah, but man, the hardest things in life are the most rewarding.
Yeah.
They really, like when you stand up to your fear.
Yeah.
And you do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you're throwing up. I went to the hospital after.
Right, no, you're right.
You're throwing up. Your body goes through this visceral thing.
Yeah.
But I now have this strength that I would never have had.
No, you wouldn't
if
have.
I didn't go through what I went through. I can smell a fake like this. These life coaches that are out there, no offense to life coaches, but let's be real, like
Yeah.
You need to, I feel, to be able to connect with somebody.
Yeah.
Being a life coach doesn't give you the authority or the knowledge. You know,
No.
some things are very traumatic in life, and to talk to somebody who's not qualified is
You go backwards. I think ultimately you have to figure out that the best life coach is yourself.
yes. And the practices that you do,
Right.
and because we all have our demons,
Yeah.
some
God.
louder than others.
Yeah.
But it's how you deal with them.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm not gonna. What you just did was brave.
Thank you.
Um, I hate to say I loved watching you go through that, but it was just I loved watching it because I know how many people you're helping, and you did it with class. You weren't being, there's not a lot of hatred. There might be, a tad, but nothing. She has accomplished so much because, what she had as a young girl, what she had to go through, if you can just imagine, in a world of these, I'm not going to say anything that I'm going to regret, in a world of men who look at girls and kids as just kind of insignificant and treat them that way. I don't know how it keeps going. I mean, that's something we'll talk about next time. But she's done it. Remember her name, Elizabeth Morales, because no, I'm gonna fucking cry. Fuck.
You're gonna make me
No, I'm good.
emotional.
I'm good. Anyway, all right.
Okay, Maurice.
Yes.
Before we get off, I have a game I want to play with you.
All right.
All
Go.
right?
Good.
So
Get
on
me
my
out of this.
podcast,
Yes.
I always play a game
All right.
at the end of the show. Kind of get ourselves out of this state of mind right now. So on my show, I used to play this game called Two Truths and a Lie. And it would be 3 tweets, right?
Yeah.
My guest had tweeted.
Yeah.
And I would take 2 tweets that were real
Right.
and a lie.
Right.
But I thought it would be fun to bring in Sonny Corinthos.
Okay.
And I have 3 quotes
All
from
right.
Sonny Corinthos.
All right.
2 are true,
All right.
1 is a lie.
Okay.
Here's a quote from Sonny Corinthos. I'm a mobster, but I'm also a father. I can't let my family suffer because of my choices. That's 1. Number 2, you don't get to choose who you love. Love chooses you. And the 3rd, I believe in loyalty, but if you cross me, you won't get a second chance to make things right.
Now these are actual quotes
2 are actual quotes,
and one is
and 1's a fake that I wrote.
okay. Give me it again.
Number 1, I'm a mobster, but I'm also a father. I can't let my family suffer because of my choices.
I think that's you say it again?
Number 1,
Yeah.
I'm a mobster, but I'm also a father. I can't let my family suffer because of my choices.
Say that's true.
Yes, you got it. Number 2, you don't get to choose who you love. Love chooses you.
That's false.
That's true.
Damn.
The fake one is, I believe in loyalty, but if you cross me, you won't get a second chance to make things right. That's something Sonny would say.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's so close
It's so close.
to that last one. They're all what Sonny would kind of say. It's just in like precise
Yes.
is what how they get you here. Because I could say the same thing but differently.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay, and listen, you're a dancer. I know you are. So
Yes.
can we dance a little bit
Yeah.
before I leave?
Yeah.
Say I got to dance with Maurice.
Oh, I
Benard.
don't know. Can we dance?
Un poquito de salsa.
Put music. Oh,
Y
you
que
can't
le
have
pongan
music.
Salsa.
You can't have music on.
Oh, that's right, because you need royalty.
That's the problem. yeah.
Okay. All right.
Anyway,
Maurice.
this has been incredible.
You've been incredible.
This gave me that stuff that I told you I had last week. That same kind of feeling that it starts getting real thick in here, but it's those are the best.
Those are.
And it was getting thick, and I was like, wow. It's almost like not spiritual, but maybe, right? It felt that way.
I appreciate the platform to,
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.